There is no doubt that there's a huge difference between a rich person and a poor person. But do you know that the richest 1% of all the people in the world control 48% of the total wealth, and the 80 richest people in the world are almost worth $3.5 billion, which is almost half the world population? After seeing this, a lot of you might be thinking that the rich are born rich, or they got rich through some shortcut, but that's just a myth. To prove this, it had been found that 69 out of 80 richest people had to work for their wealth, and in these 69 people there lies the role model for investors in the world, Warren Buffett. Like a lot of these rich people, Warren Buffett was also born in a middle-class family, but through his hard work and sheer dedication, he is now worth more than $70 billion, all because he found the proper skills and gained adequate knowledge. There is no doubt in the fact that some people have more than they need, and some can't even fulfill their basic needs. But did you ever give a thought to what draws a line between the wealthy and the underprivileged? The most common answer could be that the rich have more money than the poor, but here we are not only talking about the dollars, we are talking about the habits and the difference in lifestyles, because the rich and the poor could be living in the same city, have same jobs and have the same time frames, but the rich could be busy buying their favorite supercars, while the poor would be stuck paying their rents. So what is the actual reason behind someone who has enough money to pass down to their grandchildren, and someone who will always find it difficult to cope up? To explain this in more detail, we are going to use two examples of our rich friend John and our poor friend Tim, so you learn the things that John does and ignore the stuff that Tim does. But before moving forward, we have to keep in mind that both these men have no difference between them, both have the same IQ, the same job, same city, and both come from middle-class families, and the only difference is that John has way more money in his bank account. Sounds interesting? Wait, like this video and subscribe to the channel. So, after a long day of when Tim reaches home, he sits on his favorite couch and starts watching TV to relax. Although his boss tells him to read a book, so he can get that promotion he wants, but he won't do so because he'd rather waste his time binge watching his favorite TV show on Netflix. On the other hand, there's John, who as soon as he gets home starts studying, even though he has a master's degree and a few certifications. Even after all this, he still spends some time every night studying for a new certification, so that he can excel in his market. John also found out that Dan Lok, who he admires a lot, invests about $500,000 in a year to learn, and that also helps in boosting his motivation. He found out that most successful people spend more time and money on learning new things. That's why they are so successful, so John follows in their footsteps. So, the first difference is that the rich are always ready to learn new things. The next day, everyone got bonuses in the office, but Tim gets $100, a small amount compared to what his colleagues got. So, Tim goes to his boss and questioned him why. His boss told him that he never works extra hours to help his team, and his work efficiency has become less exponentially every year. Whereas John is working on a project, and his boss comes and gives a $10,000 bonus. John is very excited and also amazed at how he got so much money, so his boss goes on to explain how John has been helping his team by working late, and he alone made the company $1 million on the last project. He says that everyone in the top tier of the firm appreciates John, and thanks to him in the form of this $10,000 bonus. Now that's the second difference, that the rich provide more value, while the poor only provide time. The next week Tim waits for Friday, so he can get paid, because that's his bi-weekly salary day. As soon as he gets his salary, all he does is pay his landlord the rent, his electricity bill, and his monthly installments. As the month ends, Tim goes on to check his bank balance and finds that not only he didn't save any money, but spent more than last month, and wondered where did all of his money go. On the other hand, when John gets paid, a small amount directly goes to his savings account, then he spends the rest. Because of this, he has more money in his account at the end of the month. That brings us to the third difference, that the rich save first while the poor spend first. One night when Tim is watching TV, he sees an advertisement for a new TV worth $1,000. As he buys it, he finds out he doesn't have any money left for a PlayStation, because that's all he could spend on entertainment devices for a year, and wishes his boss gave him more bonus. Whereas John also has a budget of $1,000, and just like Tim, he wants to buy a TV and a PlayStation, but he can't do it, so he decides to do a side project and earn some side cash, which would get him the extra $500 for the PlayStation. And thus, he would build his dream gaming setup. That right there is our fourth difference, that rich has a positive mindset, helping them grow, and the poor have a negative mindset, which keeps them stuck. So, when Tim goes to the office every day, and he doesn't like it very much, so to make his time bearable there, he buys a coffee from Starbucks worth $5. He thinks we wouldn't be able to get through the day without the coffee, but John does completely the opposite of it. Every day he passes by Starbucks, but doesn't buy anything from there, and then chooses to drink the free coffee served at the office. Do you see how every day he manages to save $5? It might be a small amount, and the coffee at the office might not be as good as Starbucks, but it makes a huge difference for him because at the end of the year he will have $1,500. This same money will help him to go on a trip to Mexico. And that will be point number 5. Our last point, that the rich understand the power of delaying gratification, but the poor always find a way for short-term pleasure.